Hey guys, this is another part of the thriftbooks.com, and this one is make your own books and boxes, portfolios, photograph albums, and decorative papers. And it comes with 36 designs, labels for you to photocopy. It's by Peter Baumgartner. And I got this one also on thriftbooks.com. Very cheap. And you see for yourself the book is in excellent condition. And I use this one a lot, really. I love this book. It's very explicit in its explanations and directions. And it starts out giving you a little history of the book. And, you know, you can skip that if you're not interested, but I'm a reader and I'm a historian, so I like that kind of stuff. It says all the basics. This introductory chapter tells you all the tools you will need, the materials used, and important basic techniques such as measuring, cutting, and gluing. And it tells you about the different types of paper, the weights of paper, the grains, the long grain and the short grain on a paper, sheet sizes, the metric system where you can, you know, convert your books, your pages. And it tells you, you know, that paper is easier to tear with the grain than against it. A paper sheet is easier to fold along the grain than across it. And, you know, it's just simple little things that you may or may not already know. It tells you about the materials and tools you can use. And, yeah, some of it's expensive and you won't need it all. It tells you about rulers, sewing threads, headbands, glue, scissors, you know, the needles, the awls, all sorts of things that you would need. But what I like the best about this book is it gives you step-by-step instructions with pictures. And, you know, you can always, if you don't quite understand the wording they use, you can look to the picture. But it gives you different bookbinding techniques. And it says making your own decorative papers. It tells you how to do paste patterns, making batik papers, marbled papers, aren't they gorgeous? And you'd be surprised at the simple techniques they use. Notebooks, boxes, portfolios, and albums. It shows you different ways you can make your own notebooks. Think of all the money you can save on the kids' school supplies. But it shows you step by step with illustrated pictures as well. And, you know, always pull the thread taut in the direction of the fold. It shows you step by step with pictures, sewing instructions. And then it gives you the boxes, the measurements and cuttings. Tells you all the supplies you will need to make them. And then it gives you the cutting instructions and, you know, different types of paper you can use. Walks you through making the base, overhang lid, and a flush lid. And then here's your pictures. And a lot of people now are making boxes to match the journal covers to put the journal inside. Then it goes to portfolios, and it gives you step-by-step instructions along with pictures. And how, you know, if you want to add the ribbons, and a list of supplies you will need, and your cutting instructions. And then it shows you what your finished product's going to look like. The Leporello is the same thing as the concertina folded piece, and that's included in this book. It shows you exactly how to make them, what you're going to need to make them, your measurements and so forth, how many you need of each, and then it goes in to show you how to make your photo albums. And it tells you step by step every step you need and gives you the photo instructions. making your own books. You know, all of us are doing these now, but this is a really simple technique that they use in this one. And they are using sewing tape on theirs, which is not something I've seen a video on yet. But I have done several with the sewing tape, and I like it. I really do. Tells you how the book is constructed, the book block, the case, everything that you need to know. And the good thing about it is, if you're new and you don't know what a book block and a case is, a book like this is going to explain it to you, because it says, what is a book? And it goes through it. And it tells you everything that you need and what the terminology is, what it means. And then here they show you how to make the book block, and again, you have the pictures right here. And then sewing the book block. How to glue the end papers, gluing the spine, rounding the spine with a hammer. I've never done that, but some people do. And then making the case, assembling the case, decorating the case, which is the cover basically. As you can see, they use the marbled papers on these covers, which I think is really nice looking. And my husband's in there screaming at Alexa to turn the TV for him instead of him pick up the remote. And you know, a lot of us don't use the presses. You don't have to have a press. You can put something heavy on your book afterwards. But if you have the equipment to make a press, that's the ideal way to make them. I don't have room for one, is why I don't. My husband does have a press in the garage that I could use if it wasn't so manned garage out there. Let's just put it that way. And it tells you the perfect binding, single sheets, which is, you know, I do that a lot too. Full cloth binding, full binding with papers, and repairing your own books. Now, many times we'll find books that we have around the house that are old, and we say, well, I can't use that because the corner's torn up on it. This shows you exactly how to repair that corner. So it's just like new again, and while it's still an older book, it can be used. You know, even if you have to replace the spine on it. A lot of people say if the spine is torn, don't buy a book. I'll buy them if they're cheap enough, because you can replace the spines. It tells you how to glue in loose papers, pages and corners, repairing tears in papers, and then repairing a perfect bound book. And it shows you how to separate the book block from the case and the new binding, and it gives you step-by-step pictures right here too. Restoring covers and bindings. I'm sorry guys, I'm sure this is picking up my husband fussing at the Alexa and the dog. He's not having a good day. And how to repair sections in a book. And here are the decorative labels so you can photocopy them and, you know, use them over and over if you want. They're a little outdated for my taste, but I guess in vintage books they would be cute. Copy them on cream paper, they'd probably be cute. Okay, now the second one I'm going to show you today is what everybody's loving. Altered books, collaborative journals, and an adventure in bookmaking. Guys, this came from thriftbooks.com too. You gotta get it. You gotta get it. This is a great book. And as you can see, it's in like brand new condition. Look at these pictures. Aren't they amazing? I mean, you can copy these pictures and use them, alter them and use them on other projects. Look at the little girl's shoes and socks. Aren't they adorable? And it tells you about getting started, choosing a book, the basic supplies, adhesives, and so forth, and protecting pages. And then it goes on to explain to you about what is copyright, what you can and cannot alter. And let's see, it says stick to the volumes in the public domain, those published before 1923 or between 1923 and 1967 with no copyright renewal. You can research this on the internet. Just because a book says it was copyrighted in such and such a year does not mean that copyright has expired. You can renew a copyright. So you might want to check on that before you go to altering books. And I always check all of mine. And it gives you a list of some books you can play with, like the coffee table books, dictionaries, old atlases, phone books, pulp fiction, romance novels, textbooks, vintage books, and your favorite novel. Just keep a check on your copyright renewals. You have to look it up, guys. You have to, or you can be in serious trouble. And it gives you the materials and shows you some pictures of some altered books they've done. Shows you how to lay out a page, how to highlight text that you want to, save, like go around and highlight the words you want to actually show through when you do the painting over it. Interesting elements, final details, using found materials such as, putting other magazines or other book pages together with it, applying ink with a brayer, how to alter an image, digital art, a bird-like heart, photo transfers, and gives you different technique highlights for photo transfers. An ABC board book I have made. I can't even count how many of these I have made. But I make them with the children and the family's pictures. It shows you different techniques and different things you can put in the book for an altered book. I've actually done this one. I've done one with the shells in it. It shows you a pond and the little flip up with the little pictures behind it. It's really a great resource book for ideas, and if there's something you don't quite understand, it shows you, it will tell it to you. And this one has the sewing and stitching, working with original and found art, and gelatin prints. I love them. Absolutely love them. Suspending images in windows, adding drama with natural materials, collaborations, and a lot of people say, well, I don't have paper, or I don't have this, I don't have that. You have paper. Everybody has some paper in their house. It doesn't have to be, it's better if it isn't the fancy card stocks and graphic 45s. And if you're making it to be your work of art, you make your own paper so it looks like what you want the theme of your book you're working on to be. Yeah, it's fine to use the other kind of paper too, but if you want it to be a personalized book you're making, and I have done one like this as well, because here is a record album little, not albums, the little 45s. Most of you won't have a clue what that is. But the little 45, and you can make it easy with craft paper. Make a sleeve for it and put it down in there, and you can write different information on it. My brother was a musician. He made records, so when I made one of these, I put his record in it. Here's a great one for Let's Play Dress Up. And if you have any of your children's clothes still around from when they were little, rotting away in a cedar chest somewhere, make them a book and take the lace and stuff off of some of their dresses and put it on the pages. It will mean so much more to them than you saving a dress that's going to be musty and smelly, and they're never going to put it on their child anyway, because it's outdated. It's not a new style. Here's another one of those sleeves like you make for 45s, but you can make it into a picture frame. You can make them for anything. Just think 45 record, and if you have one laying around, use it to trace the pattern that you need to get the right size you need and the right cutout you need. But you can pretty much eyeball it. And here's a really adorable one. And it just gives you different little ideas and materials you're going to need, and how to lay out your pages. This is a Project Highlight 1000 Journals. Joining a round robin. Other funky tones. Now these are my favorites. I've done a lot of these house-shaped books. I've done my first, well, I'm working now on my first purse-shaped book. I've done some, the stand-up woman where the skirt of her dress opens and closes as a book. I've done a lot of these. I love doing these types of books. Judging a book by its cover, 9 times out of the 10, the majority of the journals I have sold at craft shows, the cover caught their attention and brought them over to pick up the book and look at it. So you want to make sure, if you're going to sell them, or even if you're giving them as gifts, that your cover is stand out. And it gives you some project ideas, hide the art, book in a box, cigar boxes, cosmetic compacts, purses, metal tins. They're all interesting containers to put little books in. Dress doll cutout kit. This is just so cute. And all women were once little girls that loved paper dolls. So, if you give a friend one of these books and it's got some little dress forms cut out of it with little sayings on them, and especially if you have a nice handwriting and you can write the saying on it yourself. Like, remember the time we got caught climbing a fence into the neighbor's yard stealing cherries or something. Something that you did with your best friend as a child. And give it to her as a paper doll kit. My friends that I did this for absolutely cherished them. They loved them, and one of them even cried, because we did have some great memories. We got in trouble all the time. Girls in dresses, the same thing. If you have a young girl in your life, make an altered book and put different little girls on each page at different stages in life. And put cute little outfits that they can actually put on them with sayings on the outfits. And let's say, like, it's a little baby girl with a pacifier in her mouth, and you could put the little note on there. You were age 2.5 before you ever gave up your pacifier. Then, like a little toddler girl, you were age 4 when you first started taking dance class, and put her in a little tutu. And then, just a little bit taller one, and said, you started school in this year, and this is the school you went to, and so forth and so on. You see where I'm going with this? It is a paper doll, age-progressing book. And these make fantastic wedding gifts for a bride. if you're really close to her and, you know, you want to give her something really special for her wedding, give it to her before the actual wedding. It's like a little stroll down memory lane for her of what her life has been. And if you're real good with sewing, and I used to make my daughter's clothes when she was little, but I had to give it up when she was like 3rd grade because it wasn't stylish or fashionable. But you can make miniature versions of some of the clothes your daughter loved when she was little and put them on pages of books. They would love it. Got a bug lover in your family? You know, just so many different ideas of things you can make. They walk you through these steps for the accordion fold book. This is the home book. This is the ones that I love to make. Absolutely love to make these and give as gifts, especially for like new couples or you know, somebody buying their first house. And you make it basically like a journal, but you leave pages in there that they can write on, like, you know, we bought our house on February the 15th, 2019, and then, you know, the first major repairs, the first renovations, you know, just a step-by-step, all the years they live in their house, that they can document their life in that home. And, you know, you can take pictures of the inside and outside of their house to decorate pages with, and, you know, you can make it look different if you want, but I'm telling you, for a housewarming gift, this is the book to make for somebody. Don't, you know, put so much on all the pages that they'll never be able to use it, never understand what it's for, but make them a book shaped like a house where they can document their lives and their journeys in their home. It gives you instructions on making tower books, a triangle pyramid book, and it gives you a gallery of book pages where you can get ideas on different things to make. And I have actually made one with the wooden pages before. A prayer time book, Tweedledee, a reflections, which is basically a box with an accordion style book inside it. And again, if you have a sibling that you're extremely close to, make them a nice box, put a picture of the two of you together in your childhood, and then on each page, you know, you got the front and the back, so you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to have 10 pages, or you can make it bigger, depending on the size of your box. Put a picture and write a special memory of what was happening that day with the two of you. It's a great gift. I'm telling you, it is a great gift. Not only is it a great gift for you and your sibling, it's a great gift to pass down for the family genealogy. It shows you how to use hinges in your altar books, all different types of things you can put in them. And it gives you a good idea on page layouts too. I've done this in an altar book before. You know, had it piece with twine in behind it, and it really looks nice. If you grew up in an area, let's say I grew up in Virginia and I don't live there now, you can make a book about your memories of where you grew up, and, you know, just have it to look back through. It shows you ways to alter the Charlotte's Web. Untitled Baby Book. These look odd, but they're not in the least. And these leather belly bands, oh my gosh, I love these things. But they do. It really gives a very, very vintage look to a baby book. And it's a new twist on baby books that I love. It's expensive. It is very expensive to make one of these baby books. But, I mean, if it's for your grandchild, it's worth the price. And then you can just do like a book about you. And, you know, her own place. You can write down places that you love or put in pictures that remind you of that. You know, a lot of people are doing these altered books and they're taking word stamps and stamping words on the page to get it and all. I like to do vellum paper or parchment paper and handwrite the memories myself on them and then put them into the books because it's more of a part of me. I mean, you can do the altered books with the stamps. I'm not saying don't do them. You can do them. But if you're doing it as a memory for somebody, make those memories count. Put your words in that book for them. And seeing them like this right here, you know, is what gave me the incentive and the idea and inspiration to make my own. So that is this book. And it is Altered Books, Collaborative Journals, and Other Adventures in Bookmaking by Holly Harrison. And it's by Rockport Books, and I got it on thriftbooks.com, very cheap. And there's not much you won't learn from it. Okay, I'm going to show you one more on this video. It is the Artist Trading Card Workshop. Create, collect, and swap. And it gives you every technique you could ever dream of for an artist trading card. Comes up with, you know, all these pictures and ideas to give you. I've heard a lot of people say, you know, I just can't figure out how to do them. I do too many of them. He gives you the history of the ATC. It tells you everything you ever wanted to know about an ATC and what it's for. Gives you an introduction to creating the ATCs. And then it gives you a watercolor technique to use on ATCs. And again, here's these pictures. I like the pictures. And then the watercoloring on baby wipes that we all know about. I like this one because I got a lot of new wording ideas from it. It tells you what you will need. The paint on paper towel technique. And it shows you how to apply to the towel, layer pieces onto the card, and trim the excess towel. And look how neat they came out. Leafing Pen Resist, and it goes step by step, shows you exactly how to do it. Inky Layers, I hope we all do this to death, but it looks good on ATCs. But you know, if you're new to it, this is great, and it even shows you how to blend in the ink. So add color glaze. I mean, it's just, it tells you step by step what to do and what you need to do it. Stenciling on ATCs for backgrounds, magazine papers, adding final details, finishing off the edges. I mean, it just gives you step by step everything to do. And look at these great ATCs from magazine pages. Gesso and magazine images. Tells you everything you're going to need. Step by step how to do it. Aren't they great? Never dull. This is using aluminum foil, girls wrap, whatever you want to call, on how to use them on your ATCs. Tells you what you're going to need. How to get the textured backgrounds. Phone book paper. I haven't seen a phone book in 100 years. I can't tell you how many I've thrown away. I wish I had now. It's right neat. String. Using string on your ATCs. I have never done this. I'm going to try it. And it gives you step by step how to do it. Tissue papers. But once again, you know, you're getting your step by step. Transfers. Fun foam. I don't like fun foam. I don't use fun foam. I have way too much fun foam sitting around here that I bought and was going to use, and I just don't like fun foam. But, you know, it does come out right neat. But it's a lot of work. Emboss Resist. I have done these, and I really like them. Embossing scraps. Resin Fresco. Aren't they cool? Glass-like resin. Dimensional resin. It's very cool. And again, you have step by step. So you have a raised effect on your ATC. No sew fabric. Have you guys ever made a fabric ATC? I haven't yet, but I'm going to. When I have time. Fused fibers. Now I have done this. I loved it. Hand stitching. This is a bit more work than I want to do. I don't hand sew anything. You could crochet around the edges of an ATC, I guess, but that's not for me. Machine sewing I have done on ATCs, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. This really comes out very, very different. Metal tape, I've done this one, I loved it. Mica. Friendly plastics. Ultra cards. I love this. That is so cute. What a great idea. And this is journal cards you can make. Folded cards. Pen and ink cards. These are just pictures of different types you can make. Digitals. Cards for children. And it gives you some ideas on the storage of your artist trading cards. Like make an accordion book to put, if you're going to send somebody a stack of ATCs, make an accordion book and put an ATC on each page. Stamping with bleach. Add spray webbing. Luminous paints. Make a little book of my ATCs. There's 1,000,001 ways to store them. Altered square tin. Like, I guess you could use any square tin that's close in size to the ATCs. Recycled tin cans. These are so cute. They really are. Put the little knob on the lid. The little knobs on the bottoms for feet. And it shows you how to, actually make the tin can. And you can keep your ATCs in it or anything you want. I think the rest of it is just a gallery. But you see how much is in this one book? And, I mean, it's amazing to get inspiration and ideas from. And it's, I'm creating swap mini works of art. But, yeah, this is a great artist trading card workshop book. So, if you're looking for ideas on ATCs, go to thriftbooks.com and find this book. It's great. Okay, guys, that's it for this one. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.